Did you know that Japan was united by a single morning of chaos, fog, betrayal, and a battle that lasted barely 6 hours? Today we dive into the moment when the entire future of Japan was decided, the Battle of Sekigahara. A clash of 160,000 warriors that turned a civil war into a shogunate that lasted over 250 years. By 1600, Japan had spent over a century locked in civil wars, rival clans, shifting alliances, and warlords fighting for power. When the great ununifier Toyotomi Hideyoshi died, he left behind a young son and a massive problem. Who would rule until the boy came of age? Two factions emerged, the Western Army, loyal to the Toyotomi clan, and the Eastern Army, led by a man whose ambition was colder than steel, Tokugawa Ieyasu. The two coalitions grew, pulling in clans from all across Japan. Old rivalries resurfaced, promises were broken, and spies moved through daimyo courts like shadows. By autumn 1600, both sides marched toward a narrow valley in central Japan, Sekigahara, a place destined to become a crossroads of history. On the morning of October 21st, the valley was choked with fog. Rain soaked the muddy fields. Samurai tightened their armor, wiped blades on their sleeves, and prepared for a storm that had nothing to do with weather. The Western Army held the high ground, but the Eastern Army had numbers, discipline, and Tokugawa's patience. When the fog lifted, arrows darkened the sky, drums thundered across the valley. Ashigaru's spear lines collided with cavalry charges. Flags, bright reds, whites, and yellows, whipped in the wind like a forest on fire. It was a battle of endurance, formation against formation, mud against movement. But at Sekigahara, steel wasn't the most dangerous weapon. Politics was. One clan, positioned on the slopes above the Western Army, was supposed to attack Tokugawa. Instead, its leader, Kobayakawa hesitated, then switched sides. When his troops charged down here, not at Tokugawa, but into the flank of the Western Army, the battlefield exploded into confusion. It was the betrayal that shattered the Toyotomi cause. With their flank broken and allies wavering, the Western Army's lines crumbled. Samurai fought fiercely, some to the last breath, but the momentum had shifted. Tokugawa's forces closed in from all sides. In barely 6 hours, the greatest battle of the SengokuPeriod was over. The victory made Tokugawa Ieyasu the undisputed ruler of Japan. 3 years later, he was appointed Shogun, ushering in the Tokugawa Shogunate, a government that would rule Japan for more than 2 centuries. Sekigahara didn't just end a war, it ended an era of chaos and began one of peace, strict order, and isolation. So tell me, was Japan united by strategy, betrayal, or simply perfect timing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy seeing history rebuilt in handcrafted miniature worlds, consider subscribing to AI What Stories. Your support helps me keep bringing these tiny battles and big moments back to life.